This video is brought to you by
Cool Grain Clothing. We done gone worldwide and we coming straight out of Baltimore. Come on down, shop with us at 215 West Saratoga Street. And if you can't come and shop with us in person, go online right now at coolgrainclothing.com and make your purchase. Oh yeah, and by the way, if you ain't cool and getting the green, you're in the way, and that's just basic.
What's going on, YouTube fam? It's your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of the Baltimore Way, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. Definitely watch this video to the end so you can hear the full story and all the details in the case. For my day one fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Oh yeah, feel free to share the channel with your peoples. Everybody is welcome. With that being said, let's get right into the story. It's a lot of different environments in the world. And what I have learned, traveling and talking to different people from all walks of life, everybody views the world from a different lens. For example, you go to middle class, suburban America, people are not always on edge. Individuals speak to each other, the tension is not super high, and they live freely in their communities. Go to any store or gas station they want to, walk through any blocks. But on the other hand, you have what some like to call the trenches. In most inner cities, you have hot spots with high crime rates, poverty, and everybody outside trying to survive, just make it day after day. The mindset is definitely a little bit different. You have some individuals that live by the motto, I'm just trying to stay out the way, meaning stay ducked off, not being easily available or all over so you won't be in the mix and duck trouble. That could mean something as simple as not going to a certain gas station known for robberies or shootings. Instead of stopping right there, you will risk being on E to go somewhere a little bit more laid back so you can make it home safely. Some will call that being scared and feel like I'm not staying out the way. They have another motto, I'm staying dangerous, meaning I'm gonna go wherever I wanna go, move however I wanna move, and if trouble comes my way, I will handle it accordingly. That's two different kind of mindsets and people on two different types of time. Unfortunately, as black men, we know it doesn't take much to get caught up in a life-changing or life-ending situation. A wrong look, being fresh, looking like you shining too hard, or pulling out too much money somewhere can end with words being exchanged, hands being thrown, or even worse, guns coming out. And on this episode of the Baltimore Way, we'll be discussing the case of a man's trip to the gas station in Baltimore City that turned into a double life sentence. In Baltimore, it's a lot of hot spots or danger zones, either known for just being too active, whether the people in the area are beefing or at war, or multiple people lost their lives in these locations. But rather going to get a chicken box or a black and mild and some gas, most people just live everyday life and try to be in and out of places with that kind of reputation. One gas station has had multiple incidents over the last few years, and that's Carroll Motor Fuels on Garrison Boulevard. Originally a BP gas station, it was known for multiple robberies, shootings, even homicides. As back in 2017, 22-year-old Louis Cody Young, stepson of attorney Warren Brown, lost his life there. Even though a new company took over, the area and activity stayed the same. And back in 2022, 27-year-old Lamar Candia was in the area looking for a store to go to. It was a spring night on April 29th. At the gas station on Garrison were already a few people, including 33-year-old Robert Carter and 27-year-old Kennard Wiles. The two men were just chilling, chopping it up, posted up, which is not uncommon for Baltimore. Lamar pulled up and went into the store. After grabbing what he got, once he walked out, going back to his car, for whatever reasons, words were exchanged between him, Robert, and Kennard. After a brief back and forth, it led to the men squaring up and hands being thrown. 2-on-1, Lamar knowing he just got banked, or for out-of-towners, that's Baltimore slang for being jumped on. He went back to his car, and Robert and Kennard stayed right there by the store, not knowing a call was being made. Lamar called his peoples and explained he felt played, that 2 men had put hands on him. He wanted to fight again, but needed some backup. About 5 minutes later, his peoples pulled up across the street from the gas station. A man who we will call K for the sake of the story. Lamar drove over and parked his car by K's car and gave him the rundown on what had just happened in the fight. The two then walked back to the gas station and confronted Robert and Kennard. Lamar squared up and him and Kennard started fighting, but K had different plans. He upped the gun and shot Robert, before then turning the gun on Kennard, who by that time was trying to get out that jam by running, but he was also hit. Witnesses who saw everything called BPD, who responded to the gas station to find both Robert and Kennard suffering from multiple gunshot wounds, and unfortunately they both were pronounced gone at the scene. A man who knew the 2 men and was also at the scene stated it was a fight, and the person they were fighting called somebody to come up there with a gun. Police familiar with the store knew they had cameras and asked for the footage. The video showed the man pull up, go in the store, and walk out. After talking to Robert and Kennard, they all started fighting. Through video and people who knew the man, police identified the man as Lamar. His vehicle, also his cell phone records, showed he was in the area at the time of the shooting. A few weeks later, he was picked up and taken into custody for questioning. Lamar denied having any involvement in the incident. He also stated he had no idea who shot the 2 men, but he was still taken into custody, charged with 2 counts of first-degree hit, assault, and also conspiracy to commit a hit. As the case made its way to trial, prosecutors painted a picture of all 3 of the men knowing each other, claiming in the video they heard Lamar tell K to shoot Rob and Naughty, referring to Robert and Kennard, claiming they got the best of him in a fist fight, and he made a call knowing K was coming with a gun. They even pointed to the fact that Lamar moved his car across the street by K's car, claiming the 2 men were plotting a getaway. Families of both the victims spoke out. Lamar also spoke on his own behalf. He apologized for their loss, but maintained he was innocent, claiming he wasn't the shooter, and felt like he was being railroaded and targeted for something he didn't do. But in the end, the jury found him guilty on all charges, and he was sentenced to 2 life sentences without the possibility of parole, another 30 years, 15 years, and 50 years, all the time to be ran wild, in a total of 2 life sentences plus 95 years, as the judge smashed him, telling the man he took no responsibility, showed no remorse, and wouldn't get a family justice by revealing the shooter, who he made the fatal call to. K was never found or charged. Rest in peace to Robert and Kennard. I send my prayers and condolences to their families. I'm not sure if the situation was random or the men had previous problems, but it's crazy how a simple trip to a gas station can end and 3 lives affected. 2 men gone and 1 never touching the streets again. I know in hindsight, Lamar is probably sitting in his cell thinking, I should have just went to another store, or once I saw Yo and them, just drive off. But it's that ego. As men, we never focus on what's important, like making it home to your family, staying alive and free. Because we think to ourselves, that makes me a sucker or some kind of clown. But we gotta learn, them terms don't mean nothing. Once you in the ground or sitting in that cell, looking and thinking to yourself, like I'm never coming home. But I'm gonna leave this one open for discussion. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts on the situation in the comments. Yeah, man, crazy story. Rest in peace to them, man. I definitely send my prayers to their family. But I ain't gonna talk too much more about this one. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. This is another episode of the Baltimore Way. It's your boy Tony 2 times. Y'all already know it's all love, fam. I'm out. Yo, what's the word, fam? We got a deal for you so you can get your fashion right this summer to get 10% off your purchase at Cool Green Clothing. All you gotta do is click the link in the comments. I'm gonna pin it right there for you. Add your items for purchase in the cart. Before you complete your order, type in code 2 times 10 TV to get 10% off your purchase. Again, be sure to tap that link because without that, you can't get your discount. And that's code 2TIMESTV10. We appreciate your love and support.